Hello, everyone. I am Renee Cobb, and welcome to Overtones Live. Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the 201st broadcast of Overtones, and this week we are on the road coming to you from Radiolex, the studio in Lexington, Kentucky's Greyline station.
All God's people say amen.
Radiolex's mission is to provide a mass media platform to amplify underrepresented local voices and promote an equitable and inclusive community. And behind every good DJ and show host is an awesome station manager who also runs a mean soundboard when needed. I just want everybody to give it up first for Mark Royse. And we have Jonathan Goodwin also in the station tonight. We'll be talking with him. But all of you in our listening audience are about to be introduced to a wonderful talent out of Paintsville, Kentucky. And she is known as the Appalachian Storyteller. She's a singer, a songwriter, and a member of tomorrow's Bluegrass Stars and of IBMA. John, what do you think about that? And all of that at the age of 11 years old. It's been written that her songs capture the heart and the soul of Appalachia, and we at Overtones agree with that 100%. Let's give a big warm welcome to Adalyn Ramey. And with Adalyn this evening is her father, Philip. Let's give him a round of applause. And Adalyn, you're in the studio tonight, and you'll be performing live, but we're going to acquaint our listeners first with a song that you've recorded titled 23. And I'm originally from Ashland, Kentucky, and that number has a very special significance to the people of Eastern Kentucky. What can you tell us about this opening song? And I read where it was entered into a song contest.
Yeah, so the contest that I entered it into, I had done it last year, and I won the category, but I didn't win the overall competition. And so the reason that I wrote that was for this year's competition, and I won the overall competition this year. And I am now the Cedar Student of the Year.
Woohoo! All right. I love it. So here is 23, and it's called, what's the subtitle on it?
Country Music Highway.
Country Music Highway. Here's Adalyn Ramey.
I'm heading down 23, carrying my songs, chasing my dreams. The sound runs deep in my soul, deeper than these mountains where we mine our gold. Well, Daddy said dark minds. But there are many names up and down this road, hanging on these signs who never shove a cold. Some old day when you drive this road, you're gonna read my name, you're gonna know my songs, you're gonna feel my music. It's gonna set you free, it's gonna bring you back down 23. Our music's rich here in these hills. A high lonesome sound gives me the chills. Well, Daddy made his living underneath the ground. I'm gonna make my living from this mountain sound. Some old day when you drive this road, you're gonna read my name, you're gonna know my songs, you're gonna feel my music. It's gonna set you free, it's gonna bring you back down 23. You're gonna feel my music, it's gonna set you free. You're gonna see my name on 23. I'm heading down 23, carrying my songs, chasing my dreams.
Adalyn, you've experienced a lot of life on the road from what I understand, haven't you?
Yeah.
What can you tell us in regards to how your musical career got started and where have your adventures taken you over the past few years?
Well, I first started singing when I was about 2 years old in church. And, you know, I've always been a pastor's kid. My dad has always been a pastor. And so I would sing with him at church and at revivals and, you know, anywhere he went. And I was in the Kentucky Opry Junior Pros for 7 years. I resigned this summer, though. And then after that, you know, I've been on Wood Songs several times and just everywhere.
And you've been on a show there with the Goodwin brothers. Is
Yeah.
that correct? That's awesome. John, what do you have to say about Adalyn's talent?
Oh, Renee, you know, I love just outside of the Goodwin brothers, you know, producing is what I do. It's what I've done for 15 years. So anytime I see young talent like this and doing it right, it just thrills my heart. You know, especially from Eastern Kentucky because we just have such good stock, you know, from there. And I tell people all the time, the Eastern Kentucky mountains, it may have produced more talent than anywhere in the world, really. Great talent, in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of great people. But anyway, very proud of Adalyn and what she's doing. Excited to see what the future holds for sure.
Yes, we sure are, and thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a real treat on this edition of Overtones Live as Adalyn will be performing some of her original songs for us live on the air. And the first one we're going to hear is an Adalyn original. It's called Lonesome Wind. And you are so young and you've written so many songs. What can you tell us about the origins of Lonesome Wind?
Well, I was just thinking about how every good bluegrass artist has a good heartbreak song. And so this is mine.
Well, awesome. This is Adalyn Ramey with Lonesome Winds.
There's a storm moving in. I feel the lonesome wind. My blue skies are gray. now a storm's moving in. I feel the lonesome wind. The lonesome wind, the thunder rolls. The hurt, it runs deep like God only knows. And I'm alone here again. There's a storm moving in. I feel the lonesome wind. Let the flood waters roll like this hurt in my soul. The lightning strikes, your words cut like a knife. Maybe I'll just pretend I'll see the sunshine again. But now a storm is moving in. I feel the lonesome wind. The lonesome wind, the thunder rolls. The hurt, it runs deep like God only knows. And I'm alone here again. There's a storm moving in. I feel the lonesome wind. The lonesome wind, the thunder rolls. The hurt, it runs deep like God only knows. And I'm alone here again. There's a storm moving in. I feel the lonesome wind.
All right, let's give it up. How about a round of applause? Thank you so much. Adalyn was featured on Fox 56 recently, Mark, and I read that her dreams were to stand under the bright lights of the Grand Ole Opry stage, and her father's goals and dreams were to get her through the sixth grade. I thought that was the best quote ever. And Adalyn's with her father, Philip. And this evening, Philip, what has it been like to be the parent of such a wonderful daughter and so talented like Adalyn? Do you have a musical background as well?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed music from a young age like her. I remember when I was 10 years old, for Christmas, I got my first guitar, which was also, unfortunately, the same year the original Nintendo came out, and so the guitar went in the closet. And so it wasn't until a few years later that I dusted it off and started playing, because I grew up, my parents, man, they listened to everything from the Beatles to the Eagles and things like that, and some old Goose Creek Symphony. I don't know if you're familiar with that, which had elements of every kind of music in it. But I was always a big bluegrass guy too, and started playing music when I was younger and had some good buddies, as Jonathan said, from East Kentucky that I played music with. A lot of those guys went on to do some big things. Jesse Wells, we played a lot of music together. Jesse's doing some good things right now. We also, when those guys were in college, we threw together a little band one time. We got hired to play an awards banquet at Moorhead. And they thought they were hiring some kind of classy group of musicians because we call ourselves the Box Street Boys. But actually, we showed up and played bluegrass music at this big black tie event, and they just went crazy. And it was me and Jesse and a guy named Chris Stapleton. We played a lot of music together. And so between those guys, we've got a whole lot of Grammy Awards. I don't have any of them, but we got a lot between us anyway.
The year's still young, isn't it?
But anyways, back to her. I always thought if I ever have a kid, I hope I have a kid that likes music. And probably one of my favorite scriptures, I guess, God did exceeding and abundantly above what I could ask or think, because I think she likes music more than I do. And it's been fun to watch her pick it up and just develop and then start writing her own stuff. It's been really cool to travel around and be in the band this summer. So she needs a better band, but it's fun for now.
That's awesome. And I understand you were singing in the car when you were 2 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. So your songs have been on the air in 5 countries. Do I understand that right? Do you know what those countries are?
Let's see. France, Canada,
I think we had United Kingdom in there.
Australia.
Yeah.
We've had-
Switzerland, right?
I think so. I think we had Romania.
How exciting. Wow. We're going to actually hear another live performance with another original by Adalyn called East Kentucky Morning. And I love songs written about Kentucky, and I have a feeling you love writing songs about Kentucky too. Here is Adalyn Ramey with East Kentucky Morning.
These Kentucky morning burned in my memory, just like a picture in the back of my mind. The morning is breaking, the hills are awakened. I wonder why I left it behind. We come from the hollers, raced up on hard times, but we're proud of these mountains. It's a place we call home. Our love for each other, Mama and Jesus, go together like the words of a song. Oh, can't you see the morning sun rising, lighting my way back home? I'm stuck in the city while the world keeps on turning. It's got me longing for an East Kentucky morning. The lights of the city shine through my window, but they don't shine as bright as the blue Kentucky moon. Load up my suitcase, pack up my memories, tell Mama I'm coming home soon. Oh, can't you see the morning sun rising, lighting my way back home? I'm stuck in the city while the world keeps on turning. It's got me longing for an East Kentucky morning. It's got me longing for an East Kentucky morning.
So, Mark, we're so glad to have Adalyn in the studio with us this evening. We're going to take just a small break and get ready for some more music, but let's talk about why we're here live this evening for Giving Tuesday.
Well, we're here for Giving Tuesday, but we're here live because live music and local music, and that's, I know, your passion. That's what you've built your personal brand and mission around, and it's something that at Radiolex we support. It's important, and it's part of the mission of Radiolex is to elevate voices that you won't hear in other forms of media. Overtones has been a cornerstone of our programming for a while now, and you guys just keep getting bigger and better. So it was a lot of fun to be able to say, hey, come in and let's do 2 hours live on Tuesday night during your normal time slot, and we'll see what happens. We rely on our listeners and our community. Without y'all, we're not here. We don't do this. We can't provide this platform. We can't provide an opportunity for people to be heard on the airwaves, on our app, which goes out and is heard globally. And so we rely on our listeners in the community to help support us. That's what we're here for. Thank you for being a good sport and coming in, and thank you all for coming and performing live. It's great to hear you, and you sound great. So I'm going to stop talking now and
All right.
give it back to you.
All right, and Mark, we're going to cue up Adalyn's next song. It's going to be about Christmas, but I want to say a few things and just say thank you and to Radiolex for providing such a wonderful platform for Kentucky musicians and also extending out to the Appalachian region. It's very meaningful to all the musicians that have been on the show, and we've counted probably 300 or 400 that we've cycled through the show over the last 5 years. And let me just say thank you from all of them to what you do here at the radio station.
Well, and thank you all for bringing them and for rinsing them through the shower at the Lyric Theater
Yes,
and
we did
everything
that
else.
That's another story, Adalyn.
Because that's at the heart of what we do. It's building and creating community, building and creating relationships. So the more people we can sort of bring in and showcase, that's what we do. That's what we're here for.
Definitely.
All right. So.
And folks, as we transition from the Thanksgiving holiday to the Christmas season, we're going to hear just how incredibly versatile Adalyn is going to be. And she's written a song that's been recorded, and this one combines the best of two of my favorite words, Kentucky and Christmas.
This one just came out.
We're going to get it on the
That's right.
charts here, folks. You heard it here first. So tell us about it and what you like best about the holiday season, and then we'll get that one ready to go.
Well, my dad actually wrote this one for me.
Oh, awesome.
And something that I like best about the holidays, oh gosh, where do I start? Everything. But
We like Betsy Johnson boots, don't we?
just spending time with family and even, getting to go to church that day and be in God's house on his birthday.
Awesome. That's a great answer, and we're right there with you. Here is Adalyn Ramey with Kentucky Christmas.
Snow is falling down, I'm far from my hometown. Wonder if my family knows I miss them. What I wouldn't give just to be back home again on another Kentucky Christmas. Hang the stockings, we'd sing Silent Night. Christmas caroling in the pale moonlight. Treetops all aglow, I miss your footprints in the snow on another Kentucky Christmas. Hurts to be alone when you're many miles from home, especially now in late December. But in my memory, I see the way things used to be on another Kentucky Christmas. Hang the stockings, we'd sing Silent Night. Christmas caroling in the pale moonlight. Treetops all aglow, I miss your footprints in the snow on another Kentucky Christmas. Snow is falling down, I'm far from my hometown. Wonder if my family knows I miss them. What I wouldn't give just to be back home again on another Kentucky Christmas. Hang the stockings, we'd sing Silent Night. Christmas caroling in the pale moonlight. Treetops all aglow, I miss your footprints in the snow on another Kentucky Christmas. In my memory, I see the way things used to be on another Kentucky Christmas. On another Kentucky Christmas.
Very nice. I like the little tag on the end. Yay, that's awesome. That's great. And where can we find that song?
Any music platform,
Okay.
just Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, anything like that.
Awesome. We invite you to check out the music of Adalyn Ramey. And as I mentioned before, we have Jonathan Goodwin of the Goodwin Brothers here in the studio, and he has a little story to share about you. So I'm going to swing the microphone over to him.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily about Adalyn, but this reminds me of her so much. I think it was the year 2004, and I tell this story a lot because in music business stuff that we teach and things, but I was in my office at the studio that I was working at the time, and a friend of mine, he called and said, I've got 556 booked down on Music Row, and they've double booked for this girl I'm producing. And none of the studios could get her in. Would you guys clear the lodge for the day? So I had a session booked, but we canceled it and said, yeah, come on in. And anyway, it was a girl a little older than Adalyn, but singer-songwriter. Nobody knew her, the story. But she came in and did her own thing, and that was Taylor Swift. And that project's went 5-time platinum since then. So I just only tell that story because I think that we really ought to, the listeners really should take note of these young singers that are catching on quick. They're writing their songs, they're playing their instruments, they're hitting the notes, they're doing it with heart. And I'm not comparing you to Taylor or anything like that, but I'm saying there are so many like that, and I believe with all of my heart, when we saw her, the first time we saw her, we said this, I believe with all of my heart that not only is the thumbprint of God on your life and the favor of God on your music, but some people just have that special touch and that special thing that really, really reaches the listener. So keep in touch with Adalyn, watch her, follow her on Facebook, follow her on her music, and watch and mark my word. I'm not right about a lot, but this is one thing that I've hit the nail on the head a lot of times when I say, remember her name because she's going to do great things. I really believe that.
Thank you.
I do too. And speaking of hitting those high notes, watched a video of you singing the national anthem at a high school basketball game recently, and it was incredible. I think you should do the Super Bowl next. What do you have, speaking and really kind of tying in John's message to the message in your next song, what are you all going to sing for us next?
This one is one of my favorite originals. This one is called Come See What God Can Do.
Thank you. This is Adalyn Ramey on Overtones Love.
Trials, storms got you weary. You've worried the whole night through. Your burden's too heavy, can't carry any longer. Come see what God can do. Just take all your troubles and bring them to Jesus. He really cares for you. When you're down to nothing, sufficient and peace like a river, strength that can carry you through. Help for the present and hope for tomorrow. Come see what God can do. Just take all your troubles and bring them to Jesus. He really cares for you. When you're down to nothing, He's up to something. Come see what God can do. Come see what God can do. His grace is sufficient. His peace is like a river. His strength, it can carry you through. He gives help for the present. He gives hope for tomorrow. Come see what God can do. Just take all your troubles and bring them to Jesus. He really cares for you. When you're down to nothing,
Outstanding. How about a round of applause? Awesome. And Philip, you've said that Adalyn has always been really motivated and that she figured out that it's best to be original. And I like this because it's tying into what John has said. What does being really motivated look like when you watch Adalyn in the songwriting process?
Well, so that story she was telling you about when she entered the Cedar Fair the previous year, she had entered the music category and she did a cover song. And like she said, she won the music category, but she didn't win the overall competition. So word got back to us is because it wasn't an original project. You know, essentially all the students had to do an original project. So she won some money that day, which as a 10-year-old at the time, I would have been really happy with. But she was pretty bummed out in the back seat of the car that day, and she was just like, she was devastated because she didn't win. And so she determined that day that next year I'm singing an original song. And so she took that determination and she started writing a song and she developed the whole project. So that's when she wrote 23 Country Music Highway, and she tied it all back to tourism and kind of something that, you know, Jonathan was talking about how many musicians come out of Eastern Kentucky. Actually, tell them what your inspiration, the quote for that song. So she just draws this inspiration. So her music teacher had said something that.
So she said East Kentucky's greatest export was never coal, but it was musicians. And it's really true.
And so I saw her take that and that motivation, and she started. And the thing about her writing songs is, I know it's probably different for everybody. And I know for some people it's like a process. They'll work on it a while. They'll think about it, meditate on it a while. They'll come back. But she doesn't write songs a lot. It's just when it hits. And then when it happens, it's usually about a 5-minute job, and then she's ready to go. So
that's pure inspiration.
So it's like, I don't know. And the way she tells it, it's like she plays out the story in her head, and then she just puts it to words. And I think that story is already played out several times before she starts putting it down. So it's just really cool to watch.
I have a question. So do you do your words, or does the melody come to you first?
Words.
Words come first? Well, that's awesome. And you have another song you're going to sing for us called Small Town.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that song?
So this one is about my hometown, Paintsville. And I'm a Paintsville Tiger. So I was thinking about how much I enjoyed every Friday night when we had our football games. And I thought I could squeeze that into a song about my hometown. And so this is just about how special a small town really is. And it's just, it's great.
Excellent. Well, here's Adalyn Ramey with Small Town.
Small town, a few red lights. Small town, another Friday night. Watch the Tigers win again. Small town is where I come from. Small town is what I'm made of. I thank God for a small town. This whole world goes round and round. Sometimes peace just can't be found, like the peace you find in your mama's arms. Real friends who are there for you. Real power in a church pew. I thank God for a small town. The big city keeps calling my name. I know things won't be the same like they are in the small town. But the city can't take away all the things that the small town gave. I thank God for a small town. This whole world Small town, another Friday night. Watch the Tigers win again. I thank God for a small town. This whole world goes round and round. Sometimes peace just can't be found, like the peace you find in your mama's arms. Real friends who are there for you, real power in a church pew. I thank God for a small town. I thank God for a small town.
Great job. Excellent. So, your next song, before we hear another beautiful closing song that's been written by another great Kentuckian from your neck of the woods, and as we say, and that will be When You Say Nothing at All. But first up, we're going to hear These Old Strings. So, I just want to give Adalyn and her father a round of applause for a wonderful show on Overtones Live on this Giving Tuesday this evening. So, let's hear These Old Strings, and then we'll go right into When You Say Nothing at All.
These old strings are full of melodies. They've always been a part of me. Listen to them ringing while I sing. I'll always find a song in these old strings. Daddy played them for me from the start. These tunes are buried in my heart. If the show is over, that won't mean a thing, 'cause I'll still find a song in these old strings. Things are always changing as we go, and you never know just what tomorrow holds. No matter where it leads or what life brings, I'll always find a song in these old strings. Sometimes they get a little out of tune. Sometimes they wear out much too soon. One might break and come unwound again, but that doesn't mean the music has to end. Things are always changing as we go, and you never know just what tomorrow holds. No matter where it leads or what life brings, I'll always find a song in these old strings. Things are always changing as we go, and you never know just what tomorrow holds. No matter where it leads or what life brings, I'll always find a song in these old strings. These old strings are full of melodies. They've always been a part of me.
Awesome. And let's hear your final song. We're going to have Alison Krause's Keith Whitley, When You Say Nothing at All.
It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Try as I may, I can never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. You say it best when you drown out the crowd. Old Mr. Webster could never define what's being said between your heart and mine. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all.
Everybody's singing, so it's hard to applaud, right? That's awesome. What
That
a
was
great
great.
way to close this first hour of this doubleheader.
Exactly. And you know, that's I don't know how many radio stations that would happen on that's not a community radio
I
station where you
so
can come in and
agree.
hang out and just do a little harmonizing on the side. That's beautiful.
And
That's
I'm
beautiful.
so thankful that you've come in and made this trip. And I'm always thankful to John, who comes in and just makes the show so special and, you know, lends some just great commentary about community radio. And just really glad you've been here with us. And thanks to all of you all. Mark, we're going to close this show. We're going to actually hear a Goodwin Brothers tune here in a little bit, but stick around because you're going to hear more from our second hour. We're going from bluegrass to rap, urban rap. So we're going to have Mad Wavy's dynamic duo. That's Tony Wavy and Bryce O'Quay coming up next. But we heard that Adalyn just closed the portion of the show. Let me just say thank you for all you do at Radiolex, Mark, and for helping us to make this show so incredibly special this evening. Adalyn Felt, thank you for being with us as well.
Yeah.
A big thanks to our listening audience as we strive to bring you the best this great state of Kentucky has to offer music fans, reminding you that when words fail, and as I've said before, boy, do they ever fail. They fail a lot. Music always speaks. And folks, music is speaking this evening. And since those words fail, we're going to hear some more music. And this is going to be the ending song. We start our show off and we end our show with the Goodwin Brothers, Don't Need a Cuttin'. A wonderful song about Kentucky.
Raise the barn and raise the roof. Horsepower of a different breed, built for comfort and for speed. And bluegrass don't need cutting. Mountain high and valley low, God beside me, here I go. Early in the summer wind, and our peace. In His blood, we're all kin. And all God's people say amen.